first of all, tax residency, as I said, is a factual matter. So under the Spanish tax law, for individuals, if you spend here more than 183 days in Spanish territory of a permanent basis, you are going to be considered as a Spanish tax resident, at least for a domestic point of view, or if your main economic interests are located in this country. Also, there is a presumption that if your spouse not legally separated or your dependent children live here in Spain and are also tax residents as a result of this previous rule, you are going to be presumed also to be a tax resident.
Even if you don't live here more than 183 days.
This presumption allows evidence on the contrary. You can prove that you are not a Spanish tax resident in this regard. So that said, which is the main problem here? And essentially for those people which are transferring their tax residency to Spain. Firstly, that if you spend here more than 183 days, you are a Spanish tax resident, but in many occasions, your economic interests are usually located in other countries.
In another country, exactly.
Because your source of income is in your origin, in your country, and you have here a conflict of dual tax residency. So this is a problem that must be assessed and must be analyzed in depth in order to determine which of both countries have the power to attract effectively the tax residency of this specific taxpayer. And this is important to be analyzed because, as I said, this is a factual matter. So, if you have a permanent resident here in Spain, you can be considered a tax resident here. If your center of personal and economic interests are in Spain, you can be considered a tax resident here in Spain. Or the other country, in the same way, can try to attract the center of economic and vital interest to this country. So at the end of the day, you have a certain problem in order to determine where you are a tax resident and where you have to pay your taxes. So this is important to be assessed at the very beginning of your plan to transfer your tax residency to other country. And also for the so-called exit tax. Many countries have implemented this exit tax, and when the transfer of tax residency is not planified, many times this exit tax is triggered and you have to pay a relevant amount of taxes as a result of embedded capital gains on certain assets that you hold. So it's important also analyze this transfer of tax resident under this specific perspective.